If they don't take anything else from this podcast episode, it's that one, you need multiple streams of income, right? Unfortunately, in the American society, you need more than one. If you want to live a basic life, 1-bedroom apartment, you can't, no luxury restaurants, no vacations, you don't have additional income to be able to invest. If that's what you want to do, you can have your one stream of income. But if you really want to live the life that you're seeing, that you're constantly glorifying, you got to do work to do that.
I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a
What's up? You are now listening to FY Fly the podcast, and I'm your host, Hassan Thomas, along with Remy, and we are here to share tools on how millennials can budget, save, invest, and understand student debt and credit to achieve financial freedom. If you're a high school student, college student, or someone who's interested in gaining more financial insight, this podcast is for you.
I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag.
What's up, my fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FY Fly podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did and the man that can, baby. And today we are chopping it up with virtual assistant coach, 6-figure business owner, and financial educator, Miss Annalisa Abell. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Super excited to have this conversation. I'm always excited to share with people the virtual assistant space and how to make money from home. Like, that is my thing. I love talking about making money from home.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that for sure. Cause here at FY Fly, we really like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff, baby. So I've been following you for a minute now. And I really want to know, like, what were you doing before you got into the virtual assistant game? And like, what are some duties of a virtual assistant?
So first thing, let me define what a virtual assistant is. So a virtual assistant is basically an assistant that works remotely. They work with small business owners. So they're doing administrative tasks that a regular personal assistant or your executive assistant would do at a business. It's the same thing with a virtual assistant, but they're working from home. So that's what attracts people the most. So they can really do things that they already know how to do from their current job, but they can do it from home, and you're working with small business owners. So when I started my virtual assistant journey, I had a 9-to-5 with the healthcare administration. Most people don't know, unless they tap into some of my programs, that I still have a 9-to-5. I still work as a healthcare administrator, and I've been able to expand my business and other businesses while maintaining a 9-to-5, being able to work remotely.
That's hard. That's hard.
Yes.
So when people are like coming to you and like, say I came to you, and I would assume that most of your, clients or the people that you're working with, are coming from a 9-to-5, tired of working that job, have a lack of job security as well. So like, besides, just working from home, what would be some of the top benefits of being a virtual assistant?
Well, really, it's so many benefits to becoming a virtual assistant that I always talk about. One is the low startup cost. I don't care what anybody says. Every business, it costs a little bit of money to really get it started, right? But within the virtual assistant space, it's very, very low startup costs. So you can start making 4 figures immediately with your first client. So when I first started out, I had one client working part-time hours, and that's $1,000 a month. So you'll be able to scale it up by getting multiple clients. So I was able to create a virtual assistant business and make 6 figures in less than a year within my virtual assistant, adjusting my prices as well as getting more clients. And then most of the people in my program, they do want to be able to replace their 9-to-5, and they do want to be able to work from home. But additional benefits to being a virtual assistant is obviously the money. Again, you can still do it with your 9-to-5. You can have another business and still be a virtual assistant. So you do have that flexibility component where you can make money from anywhere. But also, I had really, really successful clients. So you have the opportunity to work with 6-figure and 7-figure earners and absorb all of that information that they're pointing into their business, and you can pour it back into your business. So many benefits to being a virtual assistant. I always tell people it's really like a hack, especially like if you're in college and you can start working with entrepreneurs. A lot of, on-the-job training you can learn. Exactly. You get that on-the-job training working with those super successful business owners while you're in school. So I personally think it's excellent for everyone.
Because you mentioned like gaining more clients. And, I would assume that, there's a lot of people, especially since COVID hit, there's a lot more people looking for virtual assistant and work from home positions. So can you talk about like the job security? Like, how does each assignment work? Like, are you working with one person here, then you switch into a different contract? Or are you working like one person for 6 months to a year? Like, how does that work for it?
Most successful business owners really lean on their virtual assistant to do work for them. So they don't like to, rotate different virtual assistants. So most of the contracts that I have are long-term contracts. Generally, I ask that people work for me at least 3 months just to see that we can have a positive impact within your business. But again, my clients, they start out as clients, but most of the time they end up being friends. So we have this really close network where we're able to bounce ideas off of each other. Also, a lot of business owners do need virtual assistants. The thing about the virtual assistant space, you only really need 5 clients to, you can have 5 clients and have 5-figure months depending on how you're pricing yourself. So you don't need 20 clients to be successful within the virtual assistant space, depending on how you define success. But you have an online business, so you can make money from anywhere. You can get clients from anywhere. I've had clients that live outside the country before. So it's really just marketing yourself correctly to get the right client.
Okay. So what skills should we be, marketing? What skills should we be working on? Like, say we're in college, or say we graduated college and, we realize that self-education and self-development is really important. And we want to get into this VA market, this VA game. What are some of the skills that we should be locking in with?
Most people, when they think about becoming a virtual assistant or say even starting a business within the virtual assistant space, they completely overthink it. Generally, you already have the skills that you need. You know how to write a paragraph. You know how to send an email. Good, great. But for the most part, you're going to be, sending emails, responding to emails on behalf of the client, responding to DMs. And if you want to focus on social media management, you can do that for your clients too. And a lot of stuff you can learn on the job, depending on the client that you work with and the industry that they're working in. But I would say, I think what prevents people from being like an example like I am, or being in the same situation I am, is they don't know how to market themselves, and they don't know how to put themselves out there for people to actually see that you have a business. People think, okay, I put virtual assistant in my social media profile, so I'm a business owner now.
Yeah.
No, that's not actually how it works. You're not really marketing yourself, and you're not promoting yourself to the right people. So the goal is to market yourself to the correct audience. Not your friends, not necessarily your family, but the business owners that need virtual assistants.
So let's dive in a little deeper to that marketing, because honestly, in my opinion, you one of the best marketers, hand down. Like, you be snapping with the reels and everything you be doing on social media. So like, talk to us what it takes to, push out that content, and also touch on like, because a lot of people say, like, a lot of people don't feel that self-promotion. Like they think that's, what's the word? Not arrogant, but like they just have a negative connotation of self-promotion. So talk to us about how, promoting yourself and what you're doing for your business is not, negative or not cocky or arrogant. Like, talk to us about that.
Absolutely. So it's easy. I can tell you from examples, like specifically. So even when I came out with my digital product, I came out with it in January, and when I launched it the first month, I made $18,000, and I was promoting. So this is my second digital product, but I wasn't really understanding the marketing aspect of it, right? So February comes around, and I wasn't marketing it as much as January. So I only made a third of what I made in January because I wasn't marketing as well. People have to understand, you never know who's going to be looking at your content. You have to market your business every single day. That's what I tell the students in my program. You have to market your business every single day, because you never know who is going to need your services, right? If you see my profile one day and you don't need a virtual assistant, but 3 months later you see my content again and you actually need a virtual assistant, I'm probably going to be the first person you think of, because I've been pushing my content in front of you. It's almost like a commercial, right? They say you have to put the product in front of your audience 7 times before they make that sale. 7 times you could be seeing the same content from somebody to actually secure the sale. So people that are afraid of putting themselves out there, they don't really want the money.
Yo, are you ready to hit your next level? Do you want to increase your drive, destiny, and dollars? Well, if so, check out my new book, From College to COVID, 24 Lessons Learned During the Lockdown, where I've compiled 5 of the biggest lessons I learned going from college to COVID to starting my financial literacy empire, FY plus 19 lessons from your favorite entrepreneurs, entertainers, and athletes that have been featured on our show. There's literally something for everyone. So purchase your copy today at fyfly.com/from college to COVID. Let's go. Nah, that's hard. You dropped some gems there 7 times before you, man.
Oh, serious.
That's hard. Because, And even thinking back to myself and what I'm doing with my business, you know, I had to realize the solutions, you know, that we are solving with our business. Like in 2020, I saw an article. It was like a lot of Black businesses are, you know, faltering out or running low on funds and things because everybody was just trying to support them in 2020, you know, when there was a lot of racial tension and things, but they weren't really solving issues or, you know, solving problems, solving their customers' issues. They were just getting support. You know what I mean? So even when I'm looking back at my business, you know, going forward, you know, solving that issue, solving that problem for that customer, understanding your customer and your target market. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I get more DMs about people telling me I inspire them to put themselves out there and start doing content. Because people that know me, they know 2 years ago, I was just like, I hate social media. I didn't even create my own Instagram account. My friend my friend created my Instagram account for me when I was in college. And like, because I just thought it was weird. People would promote themselves. But from a business perspective, it's free marketing, right? I don't have to necessarily pay for ads. I can do a reel and get more exposure and get more DMs about my virtual assistant program, about people needing a virtual assistant. So as a business owner, for someone who doesn't want to spend a lot of money on marketing, for you not to want to put yourself out there on social media, you could be leaving money on the table. So I think a lot of fear keeps people from making a lot of money.
Big facts. Big facts. So was there anything like before you jumped into this, you know, virtual assistant game, you know, was there anything that surprised you when you first started doing it? Like, I'm sure you've mastered all the little, you know, nooks and crannies of the things, but like for the people listening who want to get started, what's some of the first things that they should avoid?
You can grow you can grow very, very quickly with your virtual assistant business. What I didn't have in place was systems and programs to keep information organized. And then when you get to about 6 clients or so, you can establish an agency like I have. So I have Elevated Assist, which is my virtual assistant and social media management agency. You need to have more people help you with the responsibilities, and you need to know how to delegate. Everybody doesn't know how to delegate, and people need to, like, that's something that you have to learn, especially if you're used to doing things by yourself. You have to learn how to delegate and give work to people, but you also need to be able to write out instructions that they can read so they can complete tasks the way you want them to be completed. So I would say within your virtual assistant business, give yourself grace, give yourself time to grow, but also be sure to put certain systems in place so you can stay organized.
Nah, that's huge. That's huge because, you know, even when I'm growing my business, I'm growing my podcast, now I'm starting to, you know, instead of me editing every single thing, you know, now I'm starting to have different people edit so I can free up some of my time. So now when I'm doing it, I'm going through and I'm writing, you know, each specific task or each specific, like every little instruction, like log in, this right here, press this button at the top right corner, you know what I mean? So I definitely feel what you mean 100% about that automation and delegation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't elevate and get to the next level without being able to delegate. It's just, you can't. So if you want to stay in the same space, then that's fine. Do what you need to do, stay in your little box. But if you want to get to the next level, then you have to be able to delegate.
Facts. And I feel like that's hard for people to let go, especially for like a lot of solo entrepreneurs. You know, we feel like we want to do this. We want to wear all the hats, but our hat needs to be that CEO hat, you know, where we're pushing the business forward, not just working hands on in a business. But it's hard, like you said. I agree.
It's definitely hard. Even when I talk to even when you put it in perspective, like you can make a lot of money in a month, right? You can make, let's say you make $50,000 in a month. But if I was working 100 hours every week, in my opinion, it's not worth it to me, right? I need some of my time back. So I think people need to understand when you get to a certain amount of money that you're consistently making, where you can live the life you want to live, how hard are you working? Like I follow people on Twitter, and they talk about making $350,000, $500,000, $500,000 within like leadership tech positions, and I'm just like, but how hard did you have to work? Because I'm at a point in my life where I don't really want to work that hard. So
I ain't trying to go that hard.
I don't that doesn't excite me. I know how I can make a lot of money and not have to work as hard. So as an entrepreneur, you come up with all these different ideas, but I think for every idea you have, figure out how you can delegate that to a virtual assistant so you can have peace of mind.
And one thing that you mentioned was, you know, people seeing those folks with those 3 exotic cars, they seeing them with the penthouse, but they don't even know that they using those things as assets. They flipping them things from liabilities. Now they renting those cars out on Turo. you know what I'm saying, a ride share platform, bringing them back money, bringing back an asset. And they also house hacking or doing some other things with that, you know, that other part of the house or the bottom house, you know, bottom part of the house. So I think just having that education on how to make this money and how to, you know, use it and flip it for your advantage is so important. So like touch on, you know, where does the self-education and like balancing out? Because, you know, a lot of young folks, we on YouTube all day, listening to the rappers, watching, you know, reality TV show, doing all the extra stuff, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool because everybody do it. But where does the balance between like self-education and like self-development come in when you're trying to reach a higher purpose?
I think that's a part of shifting your mindset. So that process needs to occur before you start purchasing material things. I had a $50,000 month. I had a $50,000 month. I was still house hacking. I was still driving a 2006 Chevy Cobalt. So I knew how important it was to delay gratification on certain things, right? Making sure we have the right things in process, right? That's why I always tell people, like, wait, it's not that important because y'all buying things to, you know, because of other
I need
people.
you to touch on delayed gratification because I don't think we know what that is. I don't think we know what that is.
Delayed gratification, meaning waiting to keep up with the Joneses. There is no reason you need to be in your 20s buying your dream house unless you're a millionaire. There is literally no reason.
You know why we be doing it? Because that's social media. That's what we see.
It doesn't make sense. If you're in your 20s and you don't have a large family, I definitely recommend house hacking. If you can find a property that you can house hack, where you can rent out the other side and live in another side. I have a friend that made $400,000 and he still house hacks. And he lives in the garage. Okay, and that's because like when you're around people who are financially literate, like we have conversations about what we're going to be doing with this disposable income, right? People see the nice cars, the nice houses and stuff like that, but they don't know the real estate that we're buying in the back end. They don't know that we're investing our money. So if they don't take anything else from this podcast episode, is that one, you need multiple streams of income, right? Having one is just like, it's unfortunately in the American society, you need more than one. If you want to live a basic life, 1 bedroom apartment, you can't, no luxury restaurants, no vacations, you don't have additional income to be able to invest. If that's what you want to do, you can have your one stream of income. But if you really want to live the life that you're seeing, that you're constantly glorifying, you got to do work to do that. I think people make the assumption that work doesn't go into that. So when I say delayed gratification, it's just waiting on things you really want. And I'm not saying you have to wait 10 years to get it. Yeah. I'm saying making sure you're doing the work to make sure you're financially secure. Because I'm gonna let you know right now. Within the virtual assistant agency, though I've worked with clients that are very successful. I've worked with clients who've had multi-5-figure, multi-6-figure months. Yeah. But they can't pay their bills today. Sheesh. And it's because it's being financially literate in the education piece. And it's not to downplay them, but it's just like it's being smart with your money. Mm-hmm. Right. Making
it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can keep, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I always tell people that I don't care if you make 6 figures, 7 figures. How much money are you able to keep? How much money are you able to invest and work for you while you sleep?
100%. And that's why I think, what we're doing here is so important, because if we're not talking about this, especially in our community for people that's looking like us, it'll just go over people's head. You know what I mean? And they'll be making 100,000 but spending 99,000. You know what I mean? Just like you were saying with your clients. Crazy.
No, and I mean, people don't know what they don't know. Let me just say that. People don't know what they don't know. People, I know in my household, like I have great parents. I didn't learn financially literacy from them. Like I didn't learn from finances from them. So I think people at this point, especially in your 20s, because I didn't even learn it in college either. So I think you need to take the time to invest in your own financial education, right? If you really want to be successful, how we define success from a financial standpoint in America, it's about investing. It's about obtaining real estate. All this other stuff, all these liabilities, they don't mean nothing. You can't pass that type of stuff to your kids. So you have to take ownership in reading books, right? All of my friends, we always talk about like our debt-free journey. Like if you put all of my friends who are described as successful, it's crazy because all of our journeys kind of started the same. We read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We read Think Grow Rich.
What they say, success leaves clues, right?
Yep. It's so interesting.
Come
like
on,
I want people to know, like, the blueprint is out there for you to be successful. The blueprint exists. I don't think people think everybody's gatekeeping all this information. You can literally Google how to become a millionaire. You can Google how to make six figures.
Facts.
But I don't think people know how to execute. And I think people want to have that success overnight. So if you can dedicate 1 year to 2 years to educating yourself about finances and to master a certain skill, you can be successful.
And my thing is, I don't want people to wait until, you know, something bad happens or till they get into a financial emergency or financial situation and then be like, okay, now it's time to get right. You know what I mean? Like, let's realize, like, COVID should have been that for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, COVID should have been that time for everybody where now it's time to wake up. Now it's time to get right. We see if we don't have, you know, multiple sources of income, then we're going to take an L because it's too close. One is too close to none. You know what I mean? So definitely for the people listening, it's time to wake up. It's time to lock in. It's time to change our mindsets. And one thing that I also wanted to, you know, mention or ask you about, get your thoughts on, you know, a lot of the things you said today was about environment and your surroundings and, you know, the people that you're around, the people that you're listening and to interacting with. So can you touch on how your surroundings is so very important for your success and for the people that, because I know, because you moved from where, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I moved from Ohio and now I live in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, that's a big jump.
Oh yeah, it is.
So kind of touch on like what made you leave, and then, you know, give us that answer or that game on, you know, why your surroundings is so important.
Well, another thing about house hacking, like, again, you want to buy a house. Like, I was not tied down to that house, right? I moved out, I can just rent the other side. Still beneficial for me, right?
Gotcha.
Versus people sometimes think, oh, I have a single family home, I have to worry about selling it. Sometimes people feel stuck. You can always sell. You buy a property, you can always sell a property. Especially in this market, you can always sell a property. Yeah. But for me, it's always been so important for me to be in the right environment and the right people. I will say becoming a virtual assistant and starting my virtual assistant business has led me to be surrounded by a lot more successful people. But even prior to that, I went to a period where I just isolated myself. And that's when I started reading about finances and being financially literate. Like, what does it mean to invest in the stock market? How do I house hack? What does that process look like? Are there grants available for a real estate standpoint? Because there's a lot of misinformation out there if you follow the wrong people. People think it's super expensive to purchase a property. I only put $3,600 down on my duplex. I only put $3,600 down on my duplex.
That's crazy.
And I've already made that money back, right? I've already made that money back because I have a tenant. So essentially it's almost free at this point, right? So obviously you're maintaining the property, but it's also somewhere that I was living. So it was a roof over my head as well. So for me, it's all about being in the right environment. At this point in my life, I'm not willing to build relationships where it's just like not mutually beneficial for me.
Come on now.
It's just
beneficial.
it's too many people out here that are willing to pour into me, that you know, want to create business partnerships, not even like business partnerships, but just be really, really good friends and have some of the same interests in the same conversations. Life is too short to be surrounding yourself around negative people, right? For me, I just wanted a different environment. I moved to Dallas because I knew that there were entrepreneurs in this space. I knew I wouldn't have to go through those super, super harsh winters. And I was just like, let's go. I'm just going to go. But luckily, I'm in a space where I can literally live anywhere the way that my business is set up, right? I can make money from anywhere, no matter where I'm living. But what I want people to know that it's okay to isolate yourself. And I will say that when you get to a certain level, there are certain people that will no longer have access to you.
What's up? Oh, y'all haven't heard? FY Fly just released their new website. Check out the link in the show notes and help us test out our site. Please check our free features, educational resources, and our blog that we update daily. We look forward to hearing from y'all. Now let's dive in.
So let me put it into perspective for people. You're making, let's say, $35,000 a year, making $35,000 a year. Do you think you will be hanging around the same people when you're making $200,000 a year? And the only reason I say that is that as you elevate, your environment generally elevates. The conversations and the things that interest you elevate, and the things that attract you, it's just different. I'm not saying that you have to leave those people behind, but if they can see your vision and where you're going, you probably should leave them. I'm confused. I honestly don't get it.
100%. So I want to real quick jump back to that community of over 2,000 virtual bag chasers that you got, because you snapped on that. Congratulations for sure. Congratulations. So I want to know, like, can you give us some game on like how you built your community and why a sense of community is so important in businesses nowadays?
Absolutely. So when I started my virtual assistant course, I didn't just want to have a course and just put it out there. I wanted a community component because I know a lot of people buy courses and they don't take them. And I know a lot of people buy courses and never execute on the information, because after they receive all this information, again, it's all about execution for me, all about execution. So in my community, we hold each other accountable. Okay, y'all, what are y'all working on your business this week? Like, who doesn't have a client yet? Why don't you have a client? Oh, I haven't done this, this, and this. Oh, yeah, that's why you don't have a client.
So how many times you chopping up with them in about a week, would you say?
Oh, so... Well, I have an admin. I have an admin that a community person that helps with content, and then I have a separate membership group where I'm a little bit more engaged in the membership group. Okay. But we're talking, but in the community, again, it's over 2,000 people in there. We're talking every single day. Like, we're putting comments. We talk about Instagram, social media. We're talking about building our business, different tips and tricks. And we post job opportunities for people to apply to every single Tuesday. So it's a pretty interactive community, and it comes with the course. And I think community is important. It's because it, as an entrepreneur, again, it builds that credibility, to be honest. Okay. It builds that credibility. Like, it's easy for you to be able to pinpoint success stories, because people are easily going to say, hey, I got my first client. If I need testimonials, all I have to do is go to my community. If I need a virtual assistant for somebody, if someone reaches out to me, because again, I have a lot of successful friends, but I don't work with friends. So they say, hey, Annalisa, I need a VA. That you're not working with my agency. Love you, not working with my agency. So I'm going to put that opportunity. I'm going to put that opportunity in the community, so for other people to apply to. So it's just a community with additional resources for people to be able to utilize, and a support group. Some people are doing this by themselves. Some people don't know an entrepreneur in their family. They don't know how to make money. Like, that's what this community is for. Okay. So I can't let you slide about. I said we don't work with friends. Like, what's up with that? Like, you don't think we should work with friends? I think it depends in what aspect, right? Am I providing some sort of service, or are we going in on a partnership? Like, I'm okay with partnerships, but when it comes to me providing a service, it's just I'd rather not get those lines muddy. So I'm okay with having clients that become friends, but friends becoming clients. I'm just not interested in that, because I would rather
Why just maintain that. Why is that? They're going to talk to you.
I just want to maintain that personal relationship, because the way I operate in my business, I'm very, very serious. So I don't want to have to check somebody that's technically my friend. Because
sound like you got a personal story. Give it to us. You got what? Don't mention the name.
No, I actually don't have a personal story. I don't have a personal story. I just don't want to be in this. I just don't want to be in this situation. Because I've just seen it not go well for people before. So, So for me, I just rather steer away from that. Now, if I had an issue with getting clients, then maybe I would. But I don't have an issue getting clients. So.
Okay. Makes sense. So we got one more question for you. We're going to wrap it up. So I'm going to read you these two quotes, and I need you to tell me which one is more accurate in your opinion. All right?
Okay.
All right, bet. The first one is more money, more problems, like Biggie. And the second one is money can't buy happiness. Which one out of those two quotes do you feel like is the most accurate?
Ooh.
We're going to put you on the spot on FY. We're going to put you on the spot.
Accurate. I would say more money. I would say more money, more problems.
Okay, talk to us. Why you say that?
The reason I say more money, more problems. Well, one, let me say, the reason I say not money doesn't bring happiness, I said that I think that money can buy things that can bring you happiness. I don't care what anyone says. If we talk about why people are upset, any type of problem or solution that we need for the world, it all comes back down to money. all comes back down to money. People being homeless, they don't have, financial support for a home, right? People worried about going to another job, generally due to financial instability, right? Everything usually comes back to
health, family members,
health,
ain't got
having
money
access to healthcare, life insurance. A lot of issues can be resolved with the money. So I think money can buy you happiness. I don't think money is, and I don't think happiness and peace is the same thing. I don't think money can necessarily bring you peace. But what I will say is that more money, more problems. As I've made more money, I've gotten more problems. I've gotten more. Well, I would say more challenges, right? More challenges.
Okay.
Things become a little bit more rocky. Well, I would say as you expand, as your business expands, you work with different type of clients. First of all, your tax bill increases. Let's start there. That's the whole problem in itself.
I said that's the first problem right there.
That's the more money you make, you're in a whole different tax bracket. Let's start there. But I would say more money, more problems, or more challenge. Let's just say more challenges, right? That doesn't mean that you can't figure out the solution, but the amount of problems you have. Was my life simpler 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Absolutely, it was simpler, right?
Yeah.
But now it's I have the different moving parts. I have a team to worry about. I have access to different programs. I have different platforms that I'm speaking on. And because you have so many different moving parts, you have more opportunity for problems to occur too. So
that's probably one of the best breakdowns. That's probably one of the best breakdowns on this, John, for sure.
Because when you think about even having multiple streams, you have multiple streams of income. You have multiple opportunities for things to go wrong as well, versus just focusing on one thing. Generally speaking, from how.
Nah, that's hard. That's hard. I really appreciate you coming on the FY Fly podcast, dropping all these gems. Please let everyone know where to reach you, and if you got any final words, go ahead, drop one final gem on them. Let us know. Let us know.
Well, one, I would just say you need multiple streams of income. And when I say multiple streams of income, it doesn't have to be multiple types of work, right? I have different streams of income from just the virtual assistant space. So you don't have to be in different spaces. What I will say is if you have an idea right now that will make you a lot of money, execute on it today. Tomorrow's not promised, right? So you don't want to be known as a person who never executed on anything. That is what I would tell the people. Execution, execution, execution. If you're looking for me, Annalisa, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Just Annalisa. You can follow my website at justannalisa.com. If you're looking for a virtual assistant or social media manager, we are currently accepting clients. You can book a free discovery call at www.elevatedassist.com. And if you're interested in joining my program, you can find things about my program on the Elevated Assist website as well as the justannalisa.com website.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, like I said, for coming through. You killed it. And, man, this is great. This is great. So I need everybody to tap back in with us next week for another episode of FY Fly the podcast. We need everyone to stay safe, stay invested, and stay fly. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you all for listening to FY Fly the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more financial literacy insights with our special guest. Please visit our website, social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYI Fly Podcast. That's FYI FLI Podcast. See y'all next week and stay fly.